We'll be talking about Kanye West, Tyler Sign's new album, Vultures One, that came out recently. It's been an album that's been much talked about as Kanye's kind of big return to the mainstream after his much publicized downfall and kind of downward spiral that he's been on over the last few years, and just overall just bad slide he's been on. Let's say that bad slide of publicity and this downward trend that he's been on. Obviously, he's a very conflicting figure. What he's contributed to the culture, what he's contributed to music is untouchable. The things that he's done musically are some of the best things that we've had in modern hip hop and modern pop music in general over the past few decades. And his kind of creative vision, creative genius is kind of, goes without saying. But there's a whole another side to Kanye that has come out in a lot of very ugly ways on the personal side, whether he's doing rants or tweets or anything that he's done. It's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, myself included. I've always been a huge Kanye fan musically. I've never really agreed with him on a personal level, but over the last few years, I've definitely not agreed with a lot of things that he said. And he's been kind of shunned and pushed to the edges of mainstream for a good reason. And when you play stupid games, you get stupid results. And while I do believe in second chances, it's kind of been the third, fourth, fifth, sixth chance with him. And on a personal level, I don't really pay attention to him or follow him or even give him much of my thought or brain power anymore. It is what it is. He's kind of gone down this route that he's decided to go on, and I don't know the guy, so there's no helping I can do, and I kind of just moved on from him in general. But musically, I've always had a soft spot for him musically because he's created some of the most important music in my young, short life, and like he's influenced so many people and so many artists and put on so much music that I love. And music is such a big part of people's lives and my life in general, and like it's hard to not look fondly back at all the things they've done musically, but from a personal level, obviously it's hard. It's very conflicting, much in the same way of like an R. Kelly or Michael Jackson is. Like musically that they're basically untouchable, but like on a personal level, they just seem like terrible people. Like Kanye just seems like a terrible person. And whether that is something that you should take into consideration when you're listening to music, I really try not to. It's up to you. I really try to separate music and person in general, but again, those things do still kind of go hand in hand. It's hard not to talk about Kanye West without talking about all the shit that comes with it. As much as I would like to just talk about the music and the things that he's contributed in a positive manner, it's hard not to discuss in some form or manner the stupid things that he's done and said. And yeah, content sells regardless, and he is full of content. So here we are reacting to Kanye West's new album titled Sign Vultures. So let's just kind of hop right into it. I don't really know what to expect. He's kind of been all over the place from personal and musical standpoint over the last few years. I know he kind of went the gospel-y route with his last couple of projects, and I don't know if he's going to kind of continue on that trend or kind of go back to more of traditional Kanye sound that we've expected over the years. But we'll find out. Him teaming up with Ty Dolla Sign is not something that I really expected to see, especially not in an entire project. But from the previous work that they have done together, it has been enjoyable. And Ty Dolla Sign, to me, like I said previously, is one of the most underrated kind of R&B artists over at least this past couple generations. I think what he's contributed musically is highly overlooked, whether it comes from his features or his personal work. I think he's delivered some of the best music and like influences in the game. And I don't know if this is going to elevate his status anymore. I feel like it hasn't really done much for him. Like I haven't really heard people really speaking about him in that kind of manner, but I do think he is one of the most underrated kind of modern R&B artists that we've gotten over the last few decades. And obviously Kanye sees the potential that he has and has decided to work on an entire project with him, whether that's because other artists kind of have chosen not to tap in with him or not. But that remains to be seen. But without further ado, man, let's just get into the album. I'm not really sure what to expect. I don't have super high expectations, but I do have Kanye as one of my favorite artists of all time, regardless of all the dumb shit that he's done and said. But yeah, it's a very conflicting listen. It's a very conflicting listen with this guy, always. But let's get right into it. Vultures 1, Kanye West, Ty Dolla $ign. Let's go. Track number 1, Stars. Okay, so that's pretty much just an intro. There was a few bars, but nothing really worth of note. He is still kind of using, it's not gospel, but he is using kind of a background choir and vocalists, and kind of continuing that trend of like having this bigger sounding, I guess, orchestration, if you want to say like that. But you know, it's just the intro. So let's keep this going. Track number 2, Keys to My Life. Let's go. All right, it started off kind of promising, but that switch up, I don't know what that switch up was. This beat, that beat switch up, whatever, these drums feel so unfinished and just a mess. I don't really know what's going on. I don't really understand the switch up at all. Like, it started off kind of interesting and promising, and then this switch up absolutely killed shit for me. But let's see if it goes anywhere. Another baby's the end goal, so I guess that means he's trying to have another baby with his new wife. Okay, things kind of turned back around after that absolutely nasty beat switch up that he did at the beginning. Overall, I mean, it was okay. It was okay. It just feels unfinished. Doesn't feel like he really mastered this to completion. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, it feels like something's missing. His flow isn't quite there. I don't know. Not really feeling the song. Let's go to track number 3, Paid. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. This production is absolutely fire, absolute knockout. Like, this is kind of the level of production that I come to expect from Kanye West. And like, this is it. Like, this is the production that makes people a fan, makes people conflicted. Like, damn, like, I know he said some absolutely nut shit, but have you heard this beat? Like, have you heard this beat? Yo, production is crazy. Like, this would actually go at a party. Like, it's knocking. Minus that opening high-pitched vocal shit that he was doing at the beginning. I don't really know what he was going for there. Ty Dolla $ign, the production, fire. Fire song. Production is absolutely fire. Ty Dolla $ign actually murdered that shit. Again, when it comes to production, an ear for production, and piecing these things together, he's top tier for a reason. And like, again, this is another example. This is absolute vibe. Kanye West actually vocally was the worst part of this song, like by far. He was easily the worst part of the song, but Ty Dolla $ign murdered this shit. Let's keep going. Track number 4, talking. Okay, so this is the one that we already reacted to today. On the music video side, this is the one that has Northwest on here, which is cool to see. It's dope to see that he, like, you know, put his young daughter on here and like gives her credit. And I'm pretty sure somebody wrote her bars on here, but she did an alright job for what it is. It's always annoying to me to hear young kids on songs like this, but it is cool to see regardless. Again, Ty Dolla $ign again was the best part of this, but I think Kanye actually delivered pretty well on here. I think vocally he matched up pretty well with what Ty Dolla $ign was doing. I love the kind of more gospel-y, soulful approach to it, and it felt really big and expansive at the end. I really could have done without Northwest's whole entire part at the beginning, but I understand why I did it. It's a cool concept. But again, production was on point. Mixing was actually pretty well done. It felt full, lush, big, and yeah, like That's when Kanye's good. This is when Kanye is good. Musically, this is when Kanye is good. So let's keep this going. Track number 5, Back to Me. Classic Kanye, ad-libbing, I guess not ad-libbing, classic Kanye kind of like lines and lyrics right there. He always has this kind of goofy, kind of funny lines that come out of nowhere. Talking about bleaching assholes, and I talking about naked, big, beautiful, big-breasted, beautiful women fall in the sky. Like, that's classic Kanye. This is classic Kanye. Production is certainly on point once again. It's a vibe. Like, this is feeling like good old Kanye. I'm not gonna lie, this is the good version of music. Good music version of Kanye at this point. Clerks reference is a top tier. I'm not gonna lie, that is top tier. The fact that he knows Clerks and reference it like that, top tier. I'm not gonna lie, one of the greatest slept on cult movies of all time. Clerks 2, like, and to kind of reference Jay and Silent Bob like that is dope. I'm not gonna lie, Kanye is always super dope when it comes to that kind of pop culture references and putting it into songs and kind of like pulling it out in unexpected ways. And he does that here, and super dope to see. Very well done so far. Probably my favorite song so far on this track, on this album that we've heard. Hold up, is that Freddie Gibbs? Is that Freddie Gibbs? That sounds like Freddie Gibbs. That's unexpected. I did not expect to see Freddie Gibbs on a Kanye West track ever, but kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. That was dope. Probably my favorite song off the track. That's classic Kanye to his core, talking about women, funny lines, using pop culture references, production on point, drums absolutely hitting, sonically just massive and enveloping, like, and then putting Freddie Gibbs on here was left field, unexpected, but absolutely perfect pairing, and he delivered. Like, this is fire. Back to Me is fire. I'm not gonna lie, absolutely fire. This is classic Kanye. This is probably some of the best production I've heard from Kanye in quite some projects. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's keep this going. Track number 6, Hood Rat. Those drums and the sits. Oh my God.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
God damn.
Those drums with the Sonics. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's hard, bro. It's hard with Kanye West. It's very hard, because as much as you might disagree or hate a lot of shit that he says, then he comes with production like this, and you're like, why does it have to be so good? Like, why can't it just be this? Like, why can't you just let your music speak for you? Like, why do you have to do the things that you do? Like, the production on there is nasty right now. Like, those drums were massive. The synth was crazy. Like, that's the Kanye I like, man. That's the Kanye I like. I'm definitely gonna have to rewind this and listen to this again, because yeesh. Okay. Again, peak Kanye, absolutely fantastic production, genius use of sampling, the way he had Hood Rat just playing over and over and over again, using it as part of the melody, and the rhythm was genius. And then putting that Mike Tyson clip on the end, like, that's Kanye at his kind of top tiers, when he is able to take these unique sampling and of pop culture and music and just bringing it all together into like this massive production, and his drums are on point and everything. And like, I just wish, honestly, so far, he just has not addressed any of the shit that he said. Like, he tried to a little bit in that little Mike Tyson tempo, but it's not coming from him directly. And I definitely would like to see Kanye West addressing all the shit that he's been saying over the years in his music. You have so much to say in general, but why aren't you saying it in your music? Let's keep this going. Track number 7, Do It. like I said, bro, when it comes to sampling, but like I said, man, when it comes to sampling, Kanye West is a genius, bro. Kanye West is a genius when it comes to sampling. Taking that Nipsey sample, dropping it in like that, actually just melding it with the music and then feeling like it's really punching home the track and like bringing things together. Like when it comes to sampling, Kanye West is top tier. He's one of the greatest in hip hop to ever do it. And if you compare it to this modern sampling, which I also talked about in my last kind of Nicki Minaj Pink Friday 2 reaction, which is so lazy and cheap feeling, and then you come to like Kanye West sampling, it's like night and day. Like this is how sampling was meant to be in hip hop, where you transform, where you really elevate what you're using and just really help it and take little pieces here and there to elevate and create something new from it, instead of taking something that's already popular, it's already hitting, and then just adding trap drums to it. Like when it comes to sampling, Kanye West is that guy in hip hop. Regardless of how you feel about it, Kanye West is that guy, and he's proving it again here again. And having Nipsey on here is dope. I love Nip, and hearing him on here is dope. Dope. Play that again because I loved it so much. Again, some of the best sampling ever in hip hop. Like he just knows how to do it in a very specific and creative way that doesn't feel cheap, lazy, and forced, and just kind of like playing on what's already popular, which is kind of the mainstream modern way of sampling done these days. And like he's the guy when it comes to sampling, and he delivered. The song delivers, its song hits, and the whole drop into like Juvenile's Back That Ass Up, which has actually been done multiple times in hip hop, fits perfectly here somehow it fits perfectly. And I could definitely hear this going crazy in the club. Like he's on a run right now. He's on a run on this album right now. I'm not gonna lie. Let's go track number 8, Paperwork. Ain't that the TikTok, Instagram Reel sample? What sample is that? It's the one that you always hear or you see in videos, especially like workout videos when the dude's like going from skinny to strong or whatever. But like that's definitely sounds like that popular TikTok, Instagram Reel sample, which would make sense because he's very much in the know of things like that. But that was cool. That was cool. Nasty. That's got to be that Instagram TikTok sample. I'm not gonna lie. But that shit was nasty. Super crazy. Beat was tough. That shit was super tough. I'm not gonna lie. That sample, I gotta find it. But that Instagram TikTok Reel sample that you hear in a lot of those kind of like viral clips or whatever, that shit went hard, and I would never expected to use a sample like that in the manner that I did. But again, that's why he's kind of like the sample god when it comes to modern hip hop or hip hop in general. But like, that shit slapped. I can't lie, that shit slapped. That shit went hard. I gotta find. That sample now. I don't know if I can find it. Yeah, I can't find it right now, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're not, then I'm sure I'll find it and pop it up sometime later. But it's definitely the TikTok, Instagram Reel sample that's been quite popular and viral over the many months. Let's keep this going. Let's go to track number 9, Burn. Well, short and sweet. Minute 51. Very short track, cool track. It's definitely like kind of a vibe and wavelength that I haven't heard from Kanye in a really, really long time, since like early Kanye, a little more upbeat, a little more positive, a little more soulful, less 808s and all that shit. But like, definitely kind of brought me back to more older Kanye. But it was cool. Let's keep this going. Let's go to track number 10. F something. Yeah, nah, that's gonna be a
No.
probably the least interesting song that I've heard so far in here. If anything, it feels pretty generic and well worn at this point. A lot of artists have done similar beats and production and kind of just overall vibes, and even Travis Scott himself, who seems to be on this song himself, it just feels kind of very generic, very played out, very uninteresting. A song that I can definitely pass on. Let's keep this going. Let's go to Vultures, the song that he I think this is the lead off single that he released. Dark has really been on kind of a tear. I've mentioned that before. He's showed up in all types of unexpected places. He does a pretty good job whenever guest feature he does. He delivered here for the most part. I don't think it was like his best verse, most interesting, but he did his thing, and he definitely represents kind of that more drill side of Chicago that Kanye's clearly going for on Vultures here in its form. And it was decent. It was decent.
What?
Did he just say what I think he just said? That boy ain't learned his lesson. That boy ain't learned his lesson. Let's go ahead. Let's go. Let's rewind it again. Yeah, he said it. Yeah, he said it. He has not learned his lesson. He really hasn't. Started out cool. Really could have done without Title Sign actually incomplete. Like I don't think he added much to this track. I think he actually took away from it at all, especially the overall vibe that he's going for from the beginning, which is kind of tapping into that kind of Chicago drill energy, more street energy that Chicago kind of has from like a lot of these younger artists. He was trying to tap into that, and I think for the first part it was decent. It was cool. Dirk did his thing. Yay. But I think adding Ty Dolla Sign was unnecessary here. I don't think he really needed to be on the song. I think if you cut it in half and stopped after the Ye verse, it would have been okay. It would have been a better song. But adding Ty to the song really just made this shit drag on way too long. But overall, not my favorite song of this album. Let's keep this going. Let's go to track number 12, Carnival. Certainly has kind of like that Mo Bamba feel going for it right now. You know what I mean? Definitely has that energy building that you would kind of feel from like a Mo Bamba right now.
Bruh.
I'm not sure that those are four figures that you necessarily want to be comparing yourself to. Ye. I know you're going for the shock and the awe and the controversy. Comparing yourself to R. Kelly, Cosby, Diddy right now, probably not the best thing. Probably not the best thing. Cool song. A little bit conflicting. Lyrically, Kanye West is absolutely terrible on here, and dare I say problematic. Production wise, absolutely delivers. Fully taps into kind of like that Mo Bamba vibe, that hype energy, perfect for like a festival, get the crowd going. Like I could definitely see it delivering in that sense. But lyrically, Kanye is not on his game on this one. But production wise, guest feature wise, I think it did its thing. Hype energy, super turn up track. Like in terms of that, great. Content wise, not so great. Let's go to the next track. Beg Forgiveness. You know, for a second there, I thought we were going to get an introspective, more self-aware Kanye who was going to speak about some of the many things that he said and done over the years from perspective of time, kind of looking back on those situations. But no, of course not. We're talking about Kanye West. Did he go in that direction with beg forgiveness? No, he went in a direction where he's saying you should beg forgiveness. You should ask for forgiveness for wronging him, and that he has done nothing wrong in essence. But again, this is Kanye West. This is who he is. Like, expect something more introspective, expect something more thoughtful, expect something more kind of like realistic and self-aware would be too much to ask. And I really thought that this might be the track where we got him to actually discuss the many things that he has said over the years, because we are 13 tracks in, he has yet to address a single thing that he has said, a single rant that he's done, single action that he's taken, a single issue that he has caused. He has not mentioned it in pretty much almost any form on this whole album, which is kind of disappointing. But I thought this might be the track, but again, this Kanye West, of course it's not. But sonically, it's very, very solid song. Sonically, it's great. Production is phenomenal. Such a vibe overall. I think Chris Brown and Ty Dolla Ign both added quite a lot to this track overall. And if anything, it really sounds like this old house song. Let me see if I believe it is this song that it's pulling from. Let me just check. I think this is it. I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is. Either way, it's one of these. It's definitely one of it. There's a ton of versions of this, but I think this is the version that he's pulling from, or at least he's interpolating from. But Joe Goddard, Gabrielle, go check it out. Absolute banger. House song, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it's pulling from for beg forgiveness. But let's keep this going. We're gonna have to come back to track number 14 for, you know, some streaming reasons, which I'll get to when we talk about the song. But let's go to track number 15, Problematic. Hold on, I'm gonna have to rewind this. I think he's addressing things. I didn't catch everything, so I'm gonna rewind this. Let's go again. It's okay. It's all right. Nothing crazy. Kind of mid, not gonna lie. I'm not a song that I find myself revisiting. Again, he talks a lot, but he doesn't really say much. It's more kind of egotistical chest thumping, and very much in Kanye's lane and prerogative and what he is known for. But yeah, nothing really special here. Didn't really say much. He spoke a lot, but didn't really say anything of substance. Production was cool. It was nothing crazy. Yeah, it was one of those where he thought he was really doing something, delivering something, but that then was pretty much hollow. Very hollow song, one that I could definitely find myself skipping. Let's go track number 16, King. Let's check it out. Kind of addressed it there. Crazy, bipolar, anti-Semite, and I'm still the king. So he's basically doubling, tripling, quadruple, 5 times, 6 times down at this point. Yeah, he doesn't address anything that he's saying, but he's just saying, yeah, I said it and I am what you said, and I'm still the king. Again, more egotistical Kanye chest bumping, but what can you expect? Yeah, I'm just gonna have to say no. Production wise, there's certainly potential. I think those drums are massive. I think there's a nice little vibe going on, great rhythm, great melodies. I think production is not the problem. I think production, there's a ton of potential for a great song there. But I think content wise, lyric wise, everything else that had to do outside of production is just going to be a hard pass for me. Again, I thought he was going to address things, but again, what can you expect from Kanye West? He, instead of addressing things, he just quadrupled down on everything that he's done and said and possibly been accused of, and kind of reassert himself as the king and untouchable, and you know, that remains to be seen. But yeah, I just couldn't really vibe with the whole egotistical chest bumping on this one. I get it, this is kind of his default, is to just jump back to that, but it gets a little old and a little bit tired, and I wish we would see some type of evolution, some type of maturing and introspective and retrospective look back at things that have happened and like really addressing things. It would have really been nice to have seen, but we're not going to get that on this track here. And yeah, that's one of those tracks that I can definitely live without. So track number 14, Good Don't Die, is one that I'm definitely going to listen to, but we cannot stream on Spotify. As you can see, it is voided out, blanked out, blacked out, and the reason being is because Donna Summer's estate has basically gotten it taken down from all streaming platforms because he used the sample. He asked to use the sample from them, and they said no. And instead of being like, okay, let me find another way to finish the song, no, he interpolated or used the sample anyways and kind of tried to flip things and change things up a little bit for his own manner and put it in the song regardless of how they feel. And again, that's one of the more hypocritical things about Kanye I do not like. He says he's pro artist, pro musician, pro all this, pro rights, and then when he comes to his own situations, he does it anyways. He just ignores all the things that he said he's for, artist rights and all that, and does it anyways, especially to a black female artist who is very well respected within the community. And to use it anyways after they said no and still try to capitalize on it is kind of scummy. It's kind of scummy. There's no way around it. It's pretty scummy. Like, I thought you were the pro artist. I thought you were the one that was championing the artist and fighting for the artist. And yet when they come to the situation where you're involved in, which has been well documented when it comes to masters and everything else, you fail to live up to what you are kind of trying to uphold. So that is the reason why it's not being streamed at this moment on Spotify or other platforms. So we're gonna have to go over to YouTube to listen to it, which we will do here in a second. But again, this is not the only issue with copyright and sampling that he's had in his career, and in particular on this album. It has popped up again with Ozzy Osbourne. I'm pretty sure, I highly doubt he cleared things with DJ Roca and other artists that he sampled, other small artists that he sampled. But again, this is the pro artist, the champion of artists, Kanye West at his finest. But let's go into it. Track number 14, Good Don't Die. We're going to hop over to YouTube to give this one a listen. All right, it was cool song, straight rip. Clearly used the sample. There's no denying. Used it on a very, very famous Donna Summer sample. I think that he used it tastefully, but if they don't want to use it, they don't want you to use it. That's just kind of how it goes with artist rights. But overall, I think the production was pretty dope. I think Ty Dolla Sign was a fantastic fit on this song. I think the vibes overall brought me very back to like 808s and Heartbreak, which was a really turning point for him in his career musically and creatively. And I think it was just a cool, chill, vibey, wavy song that kind of would have been a nice switch up in the overall placement of the album, which unfortunately you won't be able to listen to on streaming services. But overall, it was a cool song. I was vibing with it. It was cool. That's it for Kanye West Ty Dolla Sign album Vultures 1. Which implies there will be a Vulture 2 coming. I don't know at what point. Nobody ever really knows with scheduling things with Kanye West, but 1 implies that there will be a 2 at some point. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But overall, my thoughts for it is that the production was some of the best production I've heard from Kanye's project in some time. I'm not gonna lie. Overall, I think he delivered. Everything was hitting. Drums were nice. Sonically, everything was massive. The sampling was super on point, and unlike some of his previous projects, it really felt finished, mastered, and completed. Like, it really felt like he kind of took his time and actually finished these songs, whereas in the past, he would have been constantly adding updates and everything felt unfinished, unmastered, and just kind of like a mess. But this time, it really felt like he really produced a cohesive, full project and delivered what he really set out and envisioned in his mind. So production-wise, absolutely fantastic album. Content-wise, still leaving a lot to be desired. He's clearly missing his writer's room because there weren't really that many noticeable quotables or lines or bars here that really stood out to me. So I think he really is missing kind of his writer's room and his team of people that help him kind of develop songs and deliver what he wants to say in his mind on track. And it was disappointing. It's quite disappointing, quite honestly, from a content standpoint, that he did not address any of the things he said, issues that he's caused, issues that he's had over the past 5 or so years, maybe more. He sure has a lot to say on Twitter and in rants and in interviews and all these other places. But when it comes time to the music to actually address these things in a more kind of creative, thoughtful, maybe hopefully introspective, self-aware way, we got nothing. Absolutely nothing. If anything, he only doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on a lot of things that he said and done that a lot of people have had problems with. And while that is one route to go, if you're gonna go that route, the shit that you're saying better be at least entertaining, and it really wasn't here. Like, he didn't really have anything of substance to say, and that's disappointing for somebody who always has things to say, whether it involves him or not. But unfortunately, we did not get that content. We did not get him addressing any of those issues that you would expect to hear, especially for somebody who's been under siege, as you could say, for many of the statements that he said over the years. But no, unfortunately we didn't, and that was a big disappointment for me. I was really hoping that he would address those things in a more meaningful manner, but he sure did not. Him and Ty Dolla Sign is an absolutely fantastic pairing. Everything that they had done before together was a hit and worked well, so I'm not surprised to see an entire project of them working as well. I think Ty Dolla Sign is, again, one of the most underrated modern R&B artists that we have, and I think he meshes well with pretty much anybody and everybody who he features with. He doesn't really have bad features, and him and Kanye really created some great, fantastic moments here. Like I said, production-wise, sonically, melodically, great, fantastic. Content-wise, absolutely disappointing. Will this clear up any conflicting feelings I have about Kanye in general when it comes to his music and his personal life? Absolutely not. Like, I still have those same conflicting feelings about him. I love him musically. I love everything he's done creatively and everything he's contributes to the culture and hip hop in general. But my feelings about him personally have not changed. I really don't F with him personally, and I don't really like a lot of things that he says and does and his antics and everything else. And this doesn't change that. Musically, he's still impressive. He's still creative. He's still at a level that very few artists can get to creatively, sonically, melodically, and sampling wise. He is one-on-one. But again, still a very conflicted feeling when it comes to this guy named Kanye West, and this album unfortunately does not change that in any way. But overall, production wise, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And for that alone, it's worth a listen. It's definitely worth a listen. Is it his best album? Oh, for sure no, but I think it is one of the best projects in the last 4 to 5 years for sure. And yeah, other than that, you guys let me know how you feel about Vultures 1, how you feel about this pairing with Ty Dolla Sign, how you feel about him addressing or not addressing any of the issues that he's had in his personal life and rants and just ill-informed statements that he's made over the years. Let me know in the comments down below. What songs are you feeling the most? Production-wise, do you think this is some of his strongest work in some time like I do? Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, we'll be back shortly with more of the stream. And other than that, keep living life fearless. Peace.